recognize that when we are negligent about tearing down a stronghold, we are negligent about tearing down that place that we still allow in ourselves the word of Satan to take root and to grow. See, if that happens, we really can't ever be in God's kingdom, can we? See, if that happens, then when it's time for us to do the work God calls us to do, we're going to frustrate the grace of God because we've not been diligent about tearing down that stronghold. Let's see. Let's go back to Mark 8. Now, we went to Luke 4 and 5, so I could press a point. In Mark 8, 27, this also occurs in Matthew 16 and Luke 9, Jesus asked the disciples, "But who do you say that I am?" And Peter answered and said unto him, "Thou art the Christ." And he charged them that they should tell no man of him. Okay? Great. Okay? Confess Christ. That's absolutely wonderful. He's Lord, and He's Messiah. But if we continue reading, verse 31, it says, "And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things, and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. And he spake that saying openly. And Peter took him and began to rebuke him. But when he had turned about and looked on his disciples, he rebuked Peter, saying, Get thee behind me, Satan, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but the things that be of men." We went to Luke because somewhere along the line, it seems that Peter might have believed the devil's report about the Christhood or Messiahship of Christ, and not Jesus' example. Reinforced by the judgment of being left to go and fend for themselves out in the wilderness. He's the boss. He's the boss. So, there's a wall that exists between the boss and the employees. We just do what he says. We don't have to do as he does. See, if Christ is formed in us, then not only will we do the miraculous, but we're going to have to suffer tremendously. And to the degree that we're not diligent about tearing down the strongholds that still come against us, the hidden things of dishonesty, when the time comes to do the work, we're not going to do it. We're going to hinder it. We will hinder it. And it's that serious. I don't think we recognize that. But, thankfully, there's hope. Because just as we see in Luke 5, Jesus doesn't dismiss us as the wave of a hand, as we've seen in Mark 6 and Mark 8. The compassion that he commands us to have for others, he still has for us. Not to be abused, but to be used so that we can make ourselves ready for the time that is coming. Do you think everything that's happening now in the world is happening by accident? God is firmly in control. Do we greet all of this paranoia with joy? The fact that this is actually what God said was going to happen, and by virtue of the fact that it's happening, it means that God is faithful, that God is honest and true and just and good? Or do we say, I can't make two ends meet. God, don't you see what I'm going through? Gas is so expensive. I have to fill up $100 every week. This is crap. I can't afford tuition. God, I am reading your word. I'm obeying your word. What's the problem? And I'm here to tell you and remind myself that to the degree that we ever dare to raise that kind of why me question to God, we're agreeing with the Satan that is still in us that we have to get out. Be it judgment, rejection, woundedness, bitterness, of course, pride, lust, disobedience. But I don't think we view it like that. Because if we did, well, we'd be on some other stuff. Some other sins. And I hate to speak about it that way, but the fact that we're yet dealing with some of the same things is a problem. It's a big problem. If we keep dealing with the same things, we'll never be able to feed the multitudes we're called to minister to. We'll say, God, we're not ready yet. You go ahead and do it. You got all the power anyway. God's saying, that's why I gave you the earnest of my spirit. That's why I gave you spiritual gifts. That's why I gave you jobs to do. That's why I gave you the fruit of the Spirit. These are not just concepts that we minister to about on a Sunday so that, oh, yeah, when you're asked the question, you can say, oh, the fruit of the Spirit is this and so. Or these are the spiritual gifts that sound all academic and astute. Are they evident in us? They must be. They have to be. Do we recognize that to the degree that in some cases we're only able to see the surface, that we serve a God who sees everything, who can tell us, even in the midst of our fatigue, go back out and try again? That's the compassion. I didn't do it last time, Lord. Go back out and do it again. Launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a draught. And he knows we're going to say, Master, we've toiled all the night and have taken nothing. He knows we're going to do it. But he says, go. Try again. Because he knows that if we but obey, there'll be such an abundance caught that our nets will break. Not only physical nets, but the nets of our understanding, the nets of our own ignorance and unbelief. Go out. Go out. That said to say, all that is a reminder. Jesus is saying to us, again, today, if we knew everything he had for us to do and for us, we'd change everything we needed to immediately. And we do it every day. See, we forget the tremendous hope in the Word. That that we have.